Hi, I'm Jamie Ryan. I'm the professor of percussion at Eastern Illinois University and a Smith Mallets artist. Here at EIU, I teach applied percussion, direct the percussion ensemble, and also teach a percussion methods course for music education majors. As a performer, I regularly play in concert and orchestral situations, play a lot of drum set, as well as play a lot of music from Cuba and Brazil. Throughout those styles, I play keyboard percussion, including the marimba here. Today's video will focus on 4-mallet technique. We'll use the Musser-Stevens grip, first pioneered by Claire Omar Musser, later innovated by Lee Howard Stevens, and I'll add my own experiences to those approaches. I'll be using the Smith Mallets Hemp series for a robust tone as well as a very clear articulation. We'll cover two big areas today. First, the grip around the mallets, as well as the movements associated with this technique. First, we'll talk about the grip around the mallets. It's important to think of the grip as not a grip necessarily, but a cradle around the handles of the mallet, using soft hands, a loose, relaxed grip. We should think of numbering our mallets from low to high, 1, 2, 3, 4. The hand position at the keyboard, just like a handshake. Our forearms and wrists should be fairly parallel to the keys, the bars of the keyboard, allowing us some good leverage over the bars. Let's first start with the outside mallet of the grip. In the left hand, that would be the number 1 mallet. In the right hand, it's the number 4 mallet. So starting with the outside mallet, place it between the middle and the ring fingers. Curl the two fingers around. Leave just a little bit of slack coming out the side of the palm. Again, we want to cradle the mallet using a soft grip, and it should allow just a little bit of wobble to the mallet within the cradle of the hand. For the inside mallet, we first take the mallet and lay it very lightly on the inside of the palm. We don't want to jab it in there. We don't want to leave an indentation mark on the palm. Next, take the middle finger, wrap it around the end of that same mallet. After that, we can lay the inside mallet on top of the index finger, lining it up right at that outer joint. Last, put the thumb print of the thumb on top of the inside mallet, and you've got a fulcrum between your thumb, index finger, and middle finger ready to go. I'll do the same thing in the right hand. Middle and ring finger, curl the pinky and ring finger around the outside mallet. Leave a little bit of slack coming out of the side of the palm. My inside mallet, lightly into the palm, middle finger around the end of the mallet. Lay the mallet on top of the index finger, put the thumbprint on top of that. And we've got our cradle for all 4 mallets. Having set the grip around the mallets in place, now we're going to think about the movement involved in this 4-mallet technique. First of all, always think about a combination of wrist and forearm movement. Our hands, our fingers, the palm, etc., are all soft and loose around the mallet handles, so that should act as an extension of a natural bend of the wrist, as well as a sympathetic movement of the forearm. All wrist and forearm movement should be in combination and in sympathy to each other. The weight of the mallet heads, as well as the weight of the forearm, the wrist, and the hand, should all contribute to the sound production. As you move your wrist and forearm, you should always think about the mallet heads being tossed down and being lifted up. If the wrist and forearm are the primary movers of the keyboard mallets, then they are a fulcrum for the mallet heads moving down and up to the keyboard bars. All 4 mallet heads should land generally just off the center of each keyboard bar. So whether we're down here on the lower manual or up here on the upper manual, the accidental keys, aiming the mallet heads just off the center of the bars will produce the fullest tone with the richest fundamental sound. We have 4 movements that we want, types of movements that we want to cover. First is a 2-note chord, which is a good place to start to develop the primary stroke with 4-mallet technique. The mallet grip forms a natural interval of a 4th or a 5th, so we're going to take a perfect 5th and find the notes F and C with both hands. And we're going to start moving with the right hand. As I mentioned before, we're going to drop to the keyboard and lift off of it. So all of the wrist, forearm, and mallet head movement should contribute to those movements. Drop and lift. With the left hand, same motion. Drop and lift. Make sure you hear that both mallet heads are landing at the exact same time. If you're dropping them, truly letting go of the weight of the mallet, they should land right at the same time. Practice one hand at a time, practice the other, and then put them together. Soft hands, drop and lift. That's our first movement, which is the 2-note chord. Might call that a double stop. Second, we're going to make some individual notes happen through a rotational type of technique. I'm going to start on my left hand with the number 2 mallet, the inside mallet. Because it's a rotation of the forearm and wrist, we need to think of an axis around which the mallet will rotate. In this case, playing an individual stroke will rotate around the outside mallet, the non-moving mallet. So here's my left hand number 2 mallet playing a rotational stroke. Drop and lift. Same beating spot right off the center of the bar. I'll do the same thing with my right hand. My number 3 mallet will rotate around my number 4 mallet. That helps you prepare for your inside mallets to make quality sound and articulations with individual strokes. Let's do the same with the outside mallets. So the number 1 mallet of my left hand, I will rotate around my number 2 mallet. Similar in the right hand, my number 4 mallet will rotate around my number 3 mallet. It's good to practice individual hands on single notes, but then put them together. So I'll play inside mallets first on each hand. Again, I'm dropping to the keyboard, this time with a rotational motion, and lifting off the keyboard. Let's do the same thing with the outside mallets. Also practice your scales in this manner. Since I've been using F and C, I'll play an F major scale, first with 1 mallet, rotating around the other. Same thing with the left hand. When putting the hands together for alternating strokes, make sure to continue dropping and lifting from one key to the next. The third type of movement also involves rotational strokes, but will go back and forth between the inside and the outside mallet on each hand. Again, I'll start with my left hand and play back and forth between the numbers 1 and 2 mallets. This time, my rotational axis is going to be an imaginary line between the 2 mallets. Here we go. Same thing in the right hand, starting with my number 3, going back and forth 3, 4, 3, 4. Again, good to practice one hand at a time, and once that feels comfortable, practice them hands together. So we'll go low to high first. Rotating around an imaginary axis between the mallets using a smooth drop and lift motion. One more variation, this time I'll start with the inside mallets, rotate to the outside mallets. Last, we have what Lee Stevens usually refers to as a double lateral stroke. This is a stroke where 2 sounds come out of one movement, meaning we're going to use a vertical stroke coupled with a quick rotational stroke. As a reminder, our double stop vertical stroke was this. Now I'll couple that with a quick rotation right as my vertical stroke drops to the keyboard. In the left hand, the same thing, starting with a vertical component and switching to a quick, controlled rotation. Put together between both hands, it starts to create a ripple effect. So we have our 4 main types of movements: the double stop technique, the single individual rotation note, the alternating rotational stroke, and the double lateral. I hope you found this 4-mallet technique instructional video useful. Once again, I'm Jamie Ryan, Professor of Percussion at Eastern Illinois University and a Smith mallet artist. Remember that the 2 main components of this technique involve the grip, or the cradle around the handles of the mallet, and the 4 types of movement discussed: double stops, individual rotations, alternating rotations, and quick double laterals. Thanks for joining us.